Greetings, grasshoppers. Welcome to the Bot Signal. This is your RJ, and today, Clubhouse. Listen, so many people have been raving about this app. So many people have been saying, hey, you've got to get on it. And I'm like, I don't know. Do I have time for another thing? Yesterday, I got on. And it changed my existence just a little bit. Today, we're going to talk all about that, the details that you need to know. At least you'll know what I know, which is some. And I'm going to talk to you about the experience that I had on that platform, which was pretty darn astronomical. Before that, though, there is this. If you don't know me, my name is RJ Redden. Entrepreneurs hire me to skyrocket their engagement because most feel like they're shouting into a black hole online. They're a carbon copy of everybody else, and many people have a tough time getting traction online. So I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. So, my friends, Clubhouse. What is it? Why is it? Why am I taking the time to do a show on it? Wow. It's pretty crazy stuff. So first of all, it's an app. Boop. Android, iPhone. Are there other phones in existence? Yes, but I know it's Android and I have iPhone right now. This software, you can't really get to it through a laptop or anything like that. It's app only at this point anyway. And also audio only, app only, and audio only too. And it is, and that's kind of why I really, I put off getting into doing that, into leaping into Clubhouse, because it's like audio only. I've spent so much time and money on my video setup. Why would I, let's go to audio now. No. But here's the deal. It's kind of freeing not having to, you don't even have to really be dressed, although you probably should be. Anyway, it's kind of freeing that way. You can go on whatever kind of a hair day you have. It doesn't matter what your background is. You don't have to zhuzh any of that up to pop into Clubhouse. But it is a place where you can get a lot of new eyeballs and be able to join conversations that are important to you, say your piece, meet some folks. Clubhouse is putting the social back into social networking. You know what I mean? A lot of platforms, particularly the developed, established ones, you know who I'm talking about. There are some really super loud voices, and then there's the rest of us. And I do all right on most social platforms. LinkedIn is probably my biggest platform that I've had some really great success on. I love LinkedIn. You can still meet people, get your voice heard on LinkedIn. I like it. And even though it's been around a while, the rest of them though, but here's the thing. I think that I met 10 people yesterday by going on for a couple hours. It's astounding how much, just how many people that you can meet. And it was pretty crazy. So let me explain the process. The process for getting into Clubhouse, this is not a place that just anybody can come. Okay? Somebody needs to invite you in or know you. That's the deal. And their name is on the bottom of your profile for life. For life. Okay. And it's a very important thing, to get an invitation to this thing. But the other thing is that you might already be in somebody's contacts. So I went to joinclubhouse.com is where I went yesterday. And it says, we're not open to the public yet, but if you want to download the app and reserve your username, you can go ahead and do that. So I did that. And then boom, Coach Jenny had me at her contacts. So boom, I skipped the line and went right in. And I didn't know that I could do that. So gosh, if you're wanting to check out Clubhouse, that's the first thing. Go to joinclubhouse.com, download the app, reserve your username, make it your real name. They really like that apparently. And yeah, and then you are welcome to explore. Justin James, I'm digging Clubhouse. I'm Justin P. James on Clubhouse. Well, you've just made another friend, haven't you? Very good, sir. We'll be speaking soon, I'm sure. Probably about video. Anyway, so that was my experience. It was real quick. It was real easy. I expected to have to wait a long time. I didn't, because somebody else already had me on, their wish list of people to invite in. Okay. So that's getting in, and you may not get in. You may have to wait until the public release, because people can only send out, like people like me, I'm already in. I can send out one invitation at a time. And that's all I can do. Now, if you happen to join in my contacts, then I'll see you and wave you in. But really, they're deliberately growing it slowly. If you all remember when Pinterest came out, they did the same thing. They just, they don't let everybody in all at once. And if you read a little bit about the culture of this place, which we'll get into next, if you read a little bit about the culture of Clubhouse, they are wanting it to be a diverse place where a lot of different people have a voice. Interesting, isn't it? In fact, if you go download the app, a person of color is on the icon for the app. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, you guys. I don't know. Wow. The statement is that, they don't want it to become just the venue for the loudest people, or just the venue for the most connected people to have the voice, to have the clout, to have, whatever it is that they have. So that's an interesting thing. Silver Fox, hey, great to see you, Silver Fox. Hey, I didn't have internet for the past couple of days, so I wasn't on. It was really weird, but I created a really cool thing while I was off internet. So we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so the culture of the place is that they want to let people have an equal voice, which most algorithms on the major social networks that we're all on, they kind of have algorithmed it out. That's a big word, isn't it? It means a little computer program that selects things that you see, selects things that others see based on whatever criteria it wants. It's sort of it's sort of the god of your feed. Who the algorithms select what you see on a lot of social networks. But in this one, at least so far, you get to really determine what it is that you see, and who it is that you see, and who it is that you may potentially be connecting with. This is pretty important stuff. This is pretty cool stuff, because I was already, even as of last night, I joined yesterday about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Even as of last night, I was meeting more people and more people, that I can really, kind of gel with. not just internet randomness, which, we all love sometimes, right? We all love internet randomness, but really important. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes, and especially if you are looking to establish yourself as a thought leader, looking to establish yourself as the expert, the people that people look to when they would love a word on insert your subject here. Many of us don't have that opportunity on the major social platforms. It's either going to take a lot of money or a lot of time, and that's just how they're built. Sometimes with these beginning platforms, it's like, oh, this could be, and some platforms are more open than others. They're not all as, just, if you want to be famous, spend money. They're not all like that. I will say that they have different, varying degrees of openness, but being brand new, Clubhouse is open. It's open. It is, the door is open, and you can go and today establish yourself as an expert, as on whatever your particular gig is. It's really interesting. I love getting on new platforms. I love feeling around and seeing stuff. This one is very exciting. Now, for those of you who remember an app called Blab, yes, I'm hearkening back to 2015, which in internet years, that's about 1,000 years ago. But as I hearken back to Blab, we had a lot of freedom that was not predetermined by somebody else's algorithm. Freedom to meet people and follow people and connect, and network a little bit if we wanted to. We had that freedom on Blab, and that was a live video platform where you could, create a room or whatever. This app, this Clubhouse reminds me a lot of that. So if you're a Blab vet, as I am, then you will intuitively know how to navigate around this bad boy. You will feel the excitement, because a lot, gosh, after Blab, post Blab, when that shut down, there's a story there. There's a story there. I'm not going to tell it right now because it's not pertinent to the Clubhouse conversation. But when that one shut down, a lot of us who were, we were blabbers, we were kind of, it's kind of lost. It was kind of like, there's nothing else like that we could go to. Suddenly it has appeared on the horizon, and it is audio only, but it's kind of fun to be audio only. Let's just say that out loud. Kind of fun to be audio only. There's also, and this is key, whenever I'm, whenever I was on Blab or whenever I'm doing an interview now, with video, there's a tendency to, almost talk over each other a little bit. It was kind of more on Blab than it is in my interviews today. Tendency to talk over each other a little bit, and not know, especially in Blab, who was, talking next, because several of the screens would light up and you'd be like, who's talking next? This one, there's less of a tendency to interrupt each other. And the convention that they use is this: anybody can start a room, just a room. You can name the subject of the room anything. It can be a real casual name. It can be a real, SEO keyword filled name. It could be whatever you want, right? So you can start a room. People who are just coming into the app will, have maybe some of the same interests as you, or maybe some of the keywords, in the title that you're using. people will see that title and maybe they'll come in, or you can invite people. You can, pre-invite people and say, hey, I'm going on live at this time in Clubhouse, come see me or whatever. So then people start to join, you have a conversation. In order to speak, people have to be invited up to stage. Okay. If you are just listening, if you just popped into the room, you're gonna be on mute until somebody invites you up onto the stage. You can't speak until somebody says, hey, come on in. Now, people are, and here's the thing about this, and also the thing about TikTok that I've heard. People are super friendly and supportive. Super friendly and supportive. Wow, when's the last time you heard that about a social network? It's the kind of social network I want to belong to. People are like, there's yesterday a friend of mine threw a welcome party for me in the evening, and people I didn't know and they didn't know stopped by to welcome me to platform. Amazing. That is pretty amazing stuff. So if you want to lurk, if you want to, do all of that, you could totally do that. And, get the lay of the land before you do anything or say anything. Those of you who want to jump right in, I support you as well, because that's what I do on these platforms. But you rest assured, if you don't want to speak, you do not have to. Denny Van, thank you for your review. I'm on Clubhouse. Denny Van is still trying to figure it out. Oh, absolutely. Well, hang out, because there's a lot more coming. There's a lot more coming from, for the review. So you can lurk, you can speak. You can start your own room after having been there 5 minutes, although you may want to lurk just a little bit. But there is they do ask you to choose some interests as you're walking in. Now, I chose interests that are work related and completely non-work related. I chose all the interests that I'm interested in. And I also, there's a bio, they let you have a little bio, and for sure, put some keywords in there. Favorite shows you like, anything that you would love to have a discussion about, fit in your bio somewhere. At this point, there is no end length for your bio. So, most bios on social networks, they'll cut you off at a certain amount of characters. There is no character length on this thing. So you can put everything you're into that bio, everything that you want people to know in public, right? So everything you're willing to admit to. So that is, I decided to go ahead and delve into the non-work life because I could maybe get into a few conversations and meet a few more people. I think that, this Clubhouse app started about a year ago is what I hear. And they sure didn't know COVID was coming. January 6th of last year, what were we all doing? We were like planning our summertime plans, weren't we? I was getting ready to get on a cruise ship with a bunch of other marketers, which is now being held in November of this year. Hopefully still will be held in November of this year. At any rate, they started this thing a year ago, and now, like, people are digging it hard because it's a place where you can make a connection with somebody super fast. You can make a really good connection with somebody super fast. And to me, that's what, that's what the social network stuff's all about for me. That's the only reason that I'm on them, to make connections with people. Absolutely. And so One thing about this too, so when you're writing up that bio, be sure to get some cool stuff in there. Anything you want to have a conversation about, put it on in there. And when people are searching on that term, they'll find you. The keyword stuff is awesome in Clubhouse. Just will say that. The search method is awesome in Clubhouse. So there is interestingly enough, oh, and also on your profile, I don't want to miss this. You can connect your Twitter, you can connect your Instagram, or you can connect both of those. When I got in, I immediately connected both up. I may shut Twitter off, the connection in Twitter, because I'm not really a huge Twitter person, and I don't see that being a place where I will really hang out. But Instagram is where I've always wanted to spend more time there, but just have not had the time. This is where you connect with people. It's pretty awesome. Everybody that came to my welcome party yesterday, I clicked across to their profiles and I, subscribed to them. And in some cases, I chatted with them a little bit. And there's a lady I met yesterday. We're going to do a Clubhouse together. She's a marketer. I'm a marketer. So we're going to find ways that our marketing gels together, and we're going to start a room together. The rooms are impermanent. The rooms are like, kind of a one-time only thing. They last until the last person leaves. There's also a structure on there, a little convention called a Clubhouse. And so those I don't understand as well. So let me give you what I know for sure. And then you can, of course, pop in there and do some crazy things if you want to do that. A Clubhouse, here's what I know. Nobody's real sure how you gain that eligibility. There are all kinds of stories about how long it takes or how many people you have to have in one of your rooms or all of these things, okay? So, but a Clubhouse is it's akin to having a community where anybody, you can make it so that only you can start up meetings in this Clubhouse. It's kind of like an extra legitimacy thing that you're established enough on this platform to have a Clubhouse. Now, nobody that I was talking to yesterday has one. And so, hence the thing where we were all kind of, well, maybe somebody has one. I'm not sure. People are kind of investigating those. I'm investigating it hard because, let's talk about engagement marketing, people. Let's do that thing because it's amazing. I really want to start one, but it's sort of like having a community. It's sort of like sponsoring a group on Facebook. Now, it's also very much not like that. But if you want to at least get a framework to start one, it's basically like, okay, you're the leader of the group, and you can set whether or not other people can start meetings in there besides just you. You can specify who they are, all of that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. It's really cool stuff. So that's kind of what I know about Clubhouses. Again, it's a little unclear as to what the criteria is. I also know that the folks over at Clubhouse are exploding and creating this by the day, and the rules may change. So, hang out long enough and you might be eligible. I know I'm going to be in there starting rooms and following on to other people's conversations and having a wonderful time. So eventually I'll have one too. And if you're on, you can come join me, obviously. But that's what I know about that. There's no video again. Now back to the main meeting room. There's no video and there's no chat. So like right here, right now, I'm on StreamYard. I have it on my other screen, which is why I look over here occasionally, scan the comments. I've got comments going and I kind of respond to that and all of that. In Clubhouse, there is no stream of comments. Now, part of that is just awesomeness because whoa, being that you can only look at it on this screen. Now, my phone's huge. It's my wife and I. My phone's huge. I watch movies on this thing. That's it's what it's for. But there's not a whole lot of room on the screen, honestly. And there's no laptop interface. You can grab the app on your iPad, but it's one of those that just looks exactly like the phone one. So it's not really built for iPad as some of the other apps, like for the other social networks, like Facebook has a special little configuration when you go in there on your iPad. So this is not like that. They've not made it that far. So there's no chat, which means it means some really good things, and it means some sort of things that are like, oh, wonder how long that'll last. But what it means is that, in Blab, we had lots of troll problems. So many troll problems, just people trying to get attention, all of that kind of stuff. And man, that comment section, that chat section, you could add links, you could add GIFs, sometimes ones that were not so appropriate, if you get what I'm meaning there. Gosh, it was a tough thing. And of course you could block people on there and you can block people on here too. It's just that they don't have a chance to troll through chat. If they're going to troll, they have to speak up to do it. And that is, trolling is a low effort mentality, right? It's a low effort mentality. It's, wonder if I could get this person's attention. That speaking up in front of a group of people is a high effort. Let's just put it that way. Most people would rather, the fear of death is second to the fear of speaking in public. And even though you're not on video, you're still, you're representing yourself. That's your own name there. And you are, you're so saying something just to get someone's attention is bred out of the platform a little bit by not having comments, by not having a chat up. They're removing the low bar to entry that most trolling is done with. Tried to get in. I don't know. I'm excited now. Oh, I know. Silver Fox, it's awesome stuff and it's awesome sauce. You're going to love it. Okay. So, but the fact that there is also no chat kind of poses some problems. Basically, the thing is this, that if I wanted to drop a link to something right now, I could just go to the comment section right now and post one. In fact, I do that during the show all the time. Not able to do that. Not able to do that. Now, there are some things that you are able to do, though. And that is, if you and I are sitting in the audience and, either, participating or just listening to people talk, if you want to start a conversation with me, you can start a private room with just me right there. Like if we're sitting together and you want to talk to me and you lean over and whisper, physically, right? That function is taken care of in Clubhouse. You basically you can start a room with somebody, a private room, just the two of you. The main conversation will go away and the two of you are just having this talk. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. When the meeting breaks up or whatever, the room doesn't die until the last person leaves, so that gives people the opportunity to pull each other aside at the end of a session or whatever, and you can talk to people. You can you can do all kinds of things right there. So that's kind of a cool thing. Um, and of course, connect with people on Instagram or Twitter, whatever they have open. And if you need to send a link or something, you can certainly do it then. Or you can trade information, right there at the end of a session or whatever. So there are ways that people kind of have found a way around that. Um, I'm personally kind of liking I mean, at first it was like, "No chat? Really? Like, no chat?" Well, here's one of the benefits of the no chat, is that you get to focus entirely on what you're saying. Now, me, I've been live streaming since 2015. I know how to pick up the chat. For me, it's most comfortable if I periodically check when I'm done making my point. Any comments? Any comments? Nope. Okay, I'm back here now. For me, that's the very best thing. But sometimes people don't have 3 giant screens in their office. Sometimes they're just running from their laptop. And sometimes if you're not as well practiced at picking, being disciplined enough to not look at the comments when you're speaking, then that is really, really distracting for people. So it's adding to the presentation because people are able to focus on what they're saying and not what other people are saying right now. Now, I absolutely love live streaming. I absolutely love that this chat is coming in. I am focused on what I'm saying. Well, at least as focused as I ever am, okay? But that's the thing, is that you can focus just on what you're saying. You can also pop into other rooms that are open just because they sound interesting to you. And there's a peace out button. It's actually the little peace sign, and it says leave quietly. You can vote with your feet, baby. Vote with your feet. What do you want to listen to? What do you want to talk about? How do you want to contribute? It's up to you. The social platforms that are the engaging ones, you leave people a choice. Leave people a choice. The ones that aren't so engaging, that are more, used for, okay, well, I guess I'll see if I've got any notifications over here, but I don't really have a whole lot of use for being on the platform. That is one thing that separates engaging stuff from non-engaging stuff. And that's absolutely what we know. That's what we know. And if you didn't know that, sign up for my event. Do this thing, skyrocketlive.com. I will throw that right across the bottom there. That's my free event going on January 14th. Free full day experience. We're going to workshop some awesomeness, and you get to be a part of it. So please, I'll let it go across again before I shut that down. But Skyrocket Live, that's where my sign up is. I'm so very excited. I'm so very excited about that event because it's going to be completely different than what I've done before. Anyway, so back to Clubhouse, back to the awesomeness of Clubhouse. So it does allow people to focus a lot better when there's no chat. Also, when you get invited up onto a stage to speak, you can share 2-3 minutes of an idea, pop off the stage, and listen while looking around at other people in the audience. What are they interested in? What do they do? All of that. You can look at that right there while you're listening. To me, I never did that with Blab because if it's video, I want to be watching it. I want to see what they're doing. But with Clubhouse, remarkably easy to just when you are hanging around in Clubhouse, which you've got to do it on a phone, no way to do it on a computer at this moment. You can just start tapping on people and, read what they read in their bio, connect with them on Instagram or Twitter or both if you want to, right from the app. And so you are building your connections, you're building your tribe. Now, one of the cons of Clubhouse is this. Gonna lose some hours, kids. You're gonna lose some hours. The main complaint I hear about this platform is, and then 5 hours went by. That is that. So my suggestion is, because it is absolutely addictive, just as Blab was. Man, that first time on Blab was insane. It was insane. That was a 4-hour deal, 4-hour Blab, my first Blab. The same addictive properties are happening here, which is that close connections are possible. Actual conversations with people are possible, and they're possible like that. And you don't have to follow a bunch of rules and jump through a bunch of hoops and say a certain thing to be able to do that. You can just reach out to people. Amazing. This is amazing. To me. This is social networking done right, I think, for many reasons. It also kind of allows for, just some of that organic stuff. Some of that, hey, I got a choice about what I'm drawn to. I don't have to. I can see what everybody's doing if I want to. They call it the hallway, where all of the upcoming Clubhouse sessions are listed. So if you go into the hallway, you can see many, many things. If you search on a keyword, you'll see stuff related to that keyword. If you want to look at what they suggest for you on your calendar, there's a way to do that as well. So you can go totally bonkers, look at everything. You could look at what they think you'll be interested in, and you can look at just the stuff you've searched for and find the stuff, right? So easy to do, and so easy to switch back and forth and find, what you're comfortable with. Interesting. So if you go on there right now, you will find that there are people, there are rooms with thousands of people in them. There are rooms with 5 people in them. You know what I mean? There's an incredible diversity of size. As far as I know, there's not a limit to how many speakers you can have on stage at once. So that means, if you've got a small room or whatever, you can have 20 speakers on stage if you wanted to. Interesting. Very interesting. Here's another thing, and this is just ridiculously funny. A lot of people, as I've said, huge, friendly, supportive place. Huge. All right. It's part of the culture. It's a welcome culture. So part of the culture is that very often people will invite people up onto stage without particularly knowing them first. That's because somebody has already, reviewed you and went, okay, I want this person in the community. Whether they know that person or not is immaterial, you've been cleared to come on in, okay? So there's a certain level of trust that's sort of built in. Some rooms will invite the panel they have on stage, and that's it, and nobody else gets to speak. But a lot of the rooms, at least when I was wandering around last night, they're completely open. And if you want to speak, you can raise your hand and they'll invite you up on stage. Or sometimes they just invite you up on stage. The reason that I mention this is because this was absolutely hilarious. Last night during my welcome party, last night, one of the people, you can change your profile photograph at any time. And sometimes when you just want to be listening, you can put up a picture in your profile that says just listening. If you don't want to be called up on stage. And it was super fabulous. A lady was, we were all experimenting with everything and, how do you do these pictures and all of that kind of stuff. It was so cool. And people will sometimes change their profile photographs, since you can't, there's no chat to leave photographs in. If there's something important that they want everybody to see, they'll switch that picture to their profile photograph temporarily. So that was interesting too. Yeah, there's a lot of real coolness in this platform. There's a lot of people excited to get to know each other. For me, it's also making Instagram more of a thing. Right now, I may have posted 20 things in my entire life. It's not really where I hang. I've always been very interested in it, but I've never really figured out how it fits into my business. The message box in my, the inbox in my Instagram inbox was full last night. I mean, people are, coming at me from everywhere. It was craziness. Like that hasn't ever happened in the history of my, Instagramminess. So that was exciting as well. Planning stuff with people, meeting new people all the time. And if the value of connection is huge. I talk about that all the time, right? The value of connection is absolutely huge. And if you know people that other people need to know, then you become valuable just for making an introduction. My friend Charles Bird teaches all of this in his class, which I totally urge you to take. It's amazing. But he teaches all of this in his JV, his joint venture program. The value of that introduction can be golden for people. And you didn't have to do anything but like write an email or record a little video introducing two people. Such low effort on my part, such high results because both of those people are like, hey, new connection. Awesome. If you're an entrepreneur, our heartbeats are those connections with people. Heart stops beating. We stop making connections. Holy moly, our business is on life support. Okay. And it may pass on. I don't want that to happen to any of you. This place, Clubhouse, is a way to start making connections with people that are valuable and real and fast. This is what originally drew me to bots was bam, we were in a conversation that I don't, that I can have kind of rehearsed from my side. That's an awesome thing. For me, this Clubhouse is much along similar lines. I'm going to be on Clubhouse. I'm going to be on. My handle is @BlackBeltBots. I'm going to be waving some of you in. If I see you, I will attend your welcome parties. You know that I will. And I'm also going to do a unit on this in my upcoming class. It's ready on January 18th. It's coming up, folks, and I am so darn excited about this thing coming up on the 18th. And that class, which is Epic Engagement Formula, it's going to cover the how-tos, the nuts and bolts, and the nitty-gritties of. It's also going to, there's going to be some foundation pieces in there as well. but it's also going to be, I'm going to be going in depth into certain tools that I know are super connective and awesome. So if you're interested in that, epicengagement.co, that's where to go. And yeah, I mean, that's where you can sign up. If you're not quite sure if you want to sign up yet, just go ahead and skyrocket live it, sign up for the event, show up, and be part of things there. If you're not sure about joining a class quite yet, but I absolutely will have every connective tissue that I can possibly have. That's what I promise you in that class, because engagement marketing is the future. It's the future. And hey, no time but like right now, no day but today, as they said in Rent. Who remembers this? Anyway, I am so happy that you have been here today. I'm so happy that you stuck through and hung out with me. You're the best audience, and you know it. I'll be back at 10 o'clock tomorrow Central, pending any weird internet problems. I'll be back, and we're going to talk about engagement marketing some more. We're going to talk maybe about what I invented over my 2.5 day silence on the internets, and we're gonna have a good time. So do stop by tomorrow. And of course, on Friday, we're gonna do Friday wins, which every win you've accomplished this week, I want to hear about, so that we can all celebrate together. All right, my friends, that's it for me right now. You've been the best audience in the entire wide world, and that's it for me. I'll see you in a bot.